Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. Today we're in beautiful Nusa Ceningan and we're gonna have a beautiful day here. Probably explore Nusa Lembongan a little bit more after we're done here. So Nusa Ceningan is very quiet right now, but there's a good amount of people coming over from Nusa Lembongan. And it's a gorgeous island. We're here at high tide, so the water's blue, the water's clear. I'm really loving Nusa Lembongan, Nusa Ceningan. It's very island life and it's so relaxing to be here compared to Nusa Penida. It feels like at least Nusa Penida is like one place to another, Klung Beach, a diamond beach, jumping back and forth, and in the middle there isn't really much to see. But here it feels like there's something to see everywhere. And today the plan is we're gonna see as much as we can from this island, and then we're gonna go back to Nusa Lembongan, but we're gonna really see as much as we can here.
Okay, wait. Look at their face. Boop. Because it's, compared to other ones.
Cheaper.
Yeah.
So we're here in my beach Warung, and so we're here.
I'm gonna make. Okay.
We're here in my beach Warung. Once you cross Yellow Bridge, you go right and just drive straight for a little bit. You'll see it on the right, and it's probably one of the cheaper warungs that we found. The food here is not that bad. The Coke Zero is 15k compared to like 25k. The chicken satay is 55k. Soto ayam 50, nasi goreng 45. So for Western prices, it's pretty good. Local prices, obviously locals can find it cheaper, but for Western, it's pretty good. You'll save some money here. Alright, we finished up at that place, but my beach warung food was delicious. Highly recommend it. And now, one thing I really love about Nusa Lembongan and Nusa Ceningan, there's no cars at all, except the little transport vans. Besides that, there's nothing else. Like, it's no traffic, no sitting behind cars, so it's perfect. It's a lot better than like Bali, and you don't get stressed out as much. Now if you go right off the Yellow Bridge, it'll take you towards my beach warung and all the other warungs. This is where most people go. It's the lower side of the island, and it's a lot safer to drive there. The roads aren't as bad. There are cool warungs there as well. There's one where you can jump off a cliff diving, and there's a few beach bars, a few beach restaurants and beaches. Definitely a good choice if you get on the island, go right and just enjoy those things, and then maybe go to the top once you spent like a day exploring everything else here around here. Like, Ceningan Island is not that big, so you definitely just need like maybe less than a week to really get a feel for this place and see as much as you can, because it's a really small island. It's like a package with Lembongan. We've been driving around for a little bit, and we've discovered that once you get off Ceningan Yellow Bridge, if you go straight and continue straight left, you're gonna end up at the top of Ceningan Island, and up there the road is terrible. It's a very bad road. It's a big hill, so if you have not a lot of experience driving a scooter, don't go that way. There's a lot of cassava farms there and some villas, some warungs there, but it's hard to get up there. Just be careful driving up there. Alright, so we talked to the waiter actually from my beach bar and restaurant here in Ceningan, and he said that the seaweed farms saved the locals' lives. He says that they can get a minimum of 20 to 40 million rupiah a month from seaweed farming. And they had this before the pandemic, but the prices were really low. So luckily when tourists stopped coming, prices went up and they were able to buy food, get food, whatever they needed with selling the seaweed. And another reason it was so important, the seaweed, was that cassava takes 6 months to be ready, while seaweed is 15 days. So honestly, like, they were very fortunate, and it's great that they had this. Like, it just shows that Bali can really benefit from not relying so much on just the tourism, maybe expand the farming industry. I'm not sure how that would work. Even the server, he would do the farming. When it's low tide, they come out, take some seaweed, but when it's high tide, they don't farm. And farming is a lot more money than the bars or the restaurants as well. So it's really fascinating to know and talk to a local and see how they survived the pandemic. And you can see here just locals taking huge piles of seaweed, and they lay them out to put on the boat, and then later they lay it out to sun dry. So it's good they had the seaweed farming during the pandemic to keep them going. You know, it's really interesting seeing how the locals in Lembongan and Ceningan live. You know, during the pandemic, the waitress, the first day we got here, we went to a restaurant right off the port, and the waitress there told us that the whole time during the pandemic, they switched back to farming. And so in Ceningan, you can really see how much seaweed farming they do. They lay it out on the side of the road to dry, and that's how they make their, you know, profits. That's how they live. And then there's also cassava farming as well. They do cassava farming at the top of the hill. So it's, you know, it's good to see they went back to farm. They figured out a way to, you know, survive during the pandemic. And I think it's really important for Bali in general just to figure out ways to survive without the tourism, you know? This is my second day in Lembongan. Tomorrow we go back. So definitely check out my first day as well. I'll link it down below. I also forgot to mention that, so each family got a little plot of land here to do some seaweed farming during the pandemic. That's what the server at the place we were at told me. So that's interesting. It seems like the government really helped the people out here to survive and gave them a way to do seaweed farming. And now behind me here, they're building a harbor here so they can build another bridge for the cars that come across, the cars that carry the people. And that would be good to get more people on Ceningan here. I also forgot to mention, so we talked to some of the people next to the warung by the yellow bridge, and they said by 2026 they expect stuff to be done. And the harbor isn't next to that yellow bridge, it's actually at the top of the island. But if you cross the bridge, you can see the harbor that they're planning to build. The harbor is going to be for Nusa Penida, going to Nusa Penida and things like that. And they even joked that by 2026 there's going to be no more locals. It's going to be like all beach clubs and stuff, which I hope doesn't happen, but it might happen. I think that's a big problem in Bali. It's just like expanding beach clubs everywhere. Kind of kills like the local culture. But what are you gonna do? If you're in Lembongan, you need to come to this local warung. The food is delicious, great price, and you save a lot of money compared to the other warungs here. And the food was amazing. The sambal is really hot, so be careful with that. We had ayam lalaplan and some bakso, and then we got some nasi campur at the front, some tempeh manis, and potato bowls. I forgot what they're called. It was good. Definitely recommend this place. Okay, so we're here in Mushroom Beach. We walked to Hidden Beach, but Hidden Beach, you can actually go right next to Mushroom Beach if you go under the little rock or around the water. But you can actually see, like, low tide, you can see all the where they did all the weed farming here, the seaweed farming, and the tide gets really low as well here. But it's a cloudy day, so it's been a cloudy weekend kind of. Nice couple hours, a while in Nusa Ceningan. It was beautiful, and it was great to see, like, learn more about how the locals survived with COVID, during COVID, and learn about the seaweed farming. So I'm really glad we got to speak to some of the locals here and learn more about that. And if you're ever in the area, definitely recommend coming to Nusa Lembongan and Nusa Ceningan. They're very beautiful places. The marts and stuff like that's a little expensive because they have to import the food, but other than that, it's a lovely place, beautiful. Just tides can get pretty low, which sucks, but other than that, the food is delicious, the people are really nice, and it's a nice island vibe. You can drive around with scooter to both islands in a day, and it's easy to get around, you know. It's a very relaxing, chill place. It even has yoga places, a gym. So it's a great place. Definitely check it out. And I can see myself spending a while here, like a month maybe, or a couple weeks.